A bloodbath tonight in the rural town of Chinook.
Everyone here is hiding a secret.
4 more victims found scattered.
Some worse than others. I came as fast as I could. I'm Deputy Ruth Vogel. And soon, my quiet life will never be the same.
Realm presents a 30 Ninjas production, Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
A bloodbath tonight in the rural town of Chinook.
Everyone here is hiding a secret.
4 more victims found scattered.
Some worse than others. I came as fast as I could. I'm Deputy Ruth Vogel. And soon, my quiet life will never be the same.
Realm presents a 30 Ninjas production, Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, everybody! Before we get started with this week's episode, we just have to tell you a couple things.
Listen, we're both really excited about Trixie, but wow, Jenny,
I'm having a time.
So let's get them the news so we can get into this and you can hear Jenny have a meltdown in the intro.
Yeah. Okay, so hey, this Saturday, if you're one of our Patreon supporters, I will be playing some buffering songs in a little streaming concert format this very Saturday in the secret Facebook group for patrons only. So please join me if you're part of our Patreon community. And if you're not yet, get on board and come party with me on Saturday. Please.
Hell yeah.
Requests accepted respectfully.
Wow. And you can, if you are like, how do I get in on this? You can go to bufferingthevampireslayer.com, click on Patreon, and all of our patrons, any level of giving, are popped on over there into the secret Facebook group. So you can join before Saturday if you want to hear Jenny sing the beautiful library of songs created for this podcast. How exciting. Do you want to know something else exciting, Jenny?
I do. Tell me right now.
You already know, but none of you listening do, which is that, guess what, Chicago, we are coming to your city. This is a tease. This is just a tease because you will get the full details and how to get tickets next episode. 2 weeks from today, Checkpoint, which we are doing with Ira Madison III. How fucking exciting. We love Ira. In the intro of that episode, we will tell you all about the venue. We will tell you the ticketing links, all of that. Please know that if you are a patron, you will get the ticketing links and the code to advance purchase tickets at 10 a.m. Central on March 4th. That's the day that episode goes live. If you are not a patron, tickets will go up on March 6th, which is Friday at 10 a.m. Oh my God, Chicago!
Speaking of joining at any level, it's time for the Sexual Tension Award results from Into the Woods. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Get some tissues because in 4th place... Oh, the implications of get some tissues in this context. It's wow. Riley and Buffy with 2%. That has to be the smallest percent anybody's ever received in the Sexual Tension Awards, right? 2%.
No, somebody got 1%. Somebody has gotten 1%. I can't remember. It was recently, actually. And I have a feeling it was also Riley and somebody else.
Poor Riley. Poor sweet Riley. He deserves so much better. Well, shockingly, in 3rd place with only 19% of the vote, it's Spike and Buffy. Okay, interesting. Now you're keeping me on my toes, people. Then, wow, thank you. In 2nd place with 30% of the vote, it's Spike and Riley. Spike and Riley. Spike.
Is there a couple name Spiley or Reich?
Ooh, I like Reich.
Yeah, Reich.
R-I-K-E. Okay, and then... in 1st place, Something for Everyone, 49% of the vote. It's the 3-way combination of Riley, Spike, and Buffy. You're welcome. Hooray. Enjoy.
Well deserved. We love to see a throuple. We just love it. Thank you for voting the way we wanted you to this week, everyone.
Good. job.
Jenny, last episode, our special episode with Mark Blucas, I teased a bit that I was going to be changing the format of Spooky News for a few episodes.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay, everyone. This is a story that I wrote on November 30th, 1992. I believe that
Oh my
means-
God. Just 8 days after I turned 11.
11. And it was actually that magical time of year when you and I were both 11. So
Right.
I'm going to split this up into a few pieces, leaving you hanging. And in the words of Jenny a few episodes ago, it's kind of like a podcast ducking happening here. It's a little mini Spooky News podcast. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The death of old man Seaver. Ouch, I said as I got squeezed into the bus seat with 2 other people. The warm smell of fake leather mixed in with a faint smell of body odor, and I desperately wanted to get off the bus. After what seemed like years, the bus stopped at my house and I pushed my way through the bus crowd. As I made my way towards the door, I saw a face peeking out from a bush that was right next to my house. If
A lot of people like stand up in the aisles of your bus every time it stops. You have to elbow your way out.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
I'm telling a story.
Okay.
Please interrupt me at any point because there's a lot of points in the future when I think you'll want to interrupt me. If it were a stranger, I don't think I would have even begun to tell you about this story. It is a story about the many horrors I witnessed only 2 years ago.
At the tender age of 10.
It had all started while I was in 5th grade. I was at a birthday party and we were all sitting around the fireplace telling spooky stories. Then someone said, let's tell the one about old man Seaver. And for some strange reason, they all looked at me.
The titular Seaver.
Why are you looking at me? I asked in total shock. It's all written out. I'm just reading it verbatim. Well, said Tanya, one of my friends. See, the story sort of took place in your new home. Parenthetical. Parenthetical. I had just moved from Pennsylvania 17 months ago. 17 months ago.
It would be improper to round up to a year and a half.
Okay, this is the very end of the first segment here. What? I screamed. No way could a horror story take place in my house, I thought. Tanya continued. See, an old man named William Seaver used to live in your house until he passed away. And that's how the story began.
Okay.
Tune in 2 weeks for your next installment of this horror story that I wrote when Jenny and I were both 11 years old. That has been your spooky news.
Well, I don't know how I could possibly go on after that, but I'll try to be brave. You may have thought to yourselves, Jenny and Kristin are probably done making merch and selling it, and there's no more buffering shirts to be had. Woe is me. Wrong. We still have shirts, including a brand new design by Shane Gallard that is so spectacular. It's the freaking snake. It's the freaking snake with the tiny arms. And help, jump in.
Yes, the snake with the tiny arms on a shirt for you. BufferingTheVampireSlayer.com. Just click on shop.
Yeah, we got other stuff too, but that's really the crown jewel at the moment.
You're distracted, Jenny, because you just want to get to Trixie, as do we all.
I can't take it.
Let's just go. Let's go.
This is the most perfect conversation that's ever happened, and also my favorite howl of the entire series. Hello, and welcome to what will certainly be the greatest ever episode of Buffering the Vampire Slayer. a podcast where we're watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer one at a time, spoiler-free, keeping our cool. I'm Jenny Owen-Youngs.
I am Kristin Russo. This week we are discussing Season 5, Episode 11, Triangle. We're in a triangle right now, as a matter of fact, but we're not going to talk about it yet. You don't even know who's laughing. You don't know. Stay tuned at the end of this podcast every week for an original song written by Jenny, recapping the Buffy episode we are discussing.
Triangle was written by Jane Espenson and directed by Christopher Hibbler and originally aired on January 9th, 2001.
Jenny's just going to shout the whole time.
I'm trying to be cool.
Why don't you introduce our guest before your head explodes, and then I'll say what the episode's about.
On this blessed... Okay, you've already identified the iconic laugh. There is but one in all the world. She alone has brought you and the globe so much joy on RuPaul's Drag Race via my favorite thing to ever look at and listen to at the same time.
Wait, pause, please, because I need them to have the visual that, like, when Jenny gets at her peak excitement, she covers her eyes because, like a cat, she thinks, like, we can't
no one
see
can
her.
see me.
I think her eyes are rolling back.
Yeah. So sorry, continue. I just wanted them to
This
picture
is
you
an
properly.
intimate moment. You've seen her on you've seen a shiny new documentary called Moving Parts. You've seen her everywhere and anywhere. She plays the auto harp. And she's here with us today, and I will not survive. It's Trixie Mattel.
Wow. Congratulations on
Thank you.
completing that introduction. Holy shit.
Wow.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for filming just a few blocks from my house.
Yeah, anything for you.
So if any real fans out there want to murder all three of us,
Now's the time.
Two stops.
Yeah, we're right here, all in the same room.
Yeah.
You're trying out, you were telling us before we started recording that you're trying out a new wig for the tour that you're about to go on. Is that?
Yeah, I'm really trying to go above and beyond for the new tour. So I designed with my wig stylist a style of wig that has basically like a snap cap. Like there's a base wig and then it has a bunch of wigs that quick change based on what's on it. It's basically inspired by, do you remember that doll from the 70s? Beautiful Christy. Christy has beautiful hair that grows. There was this doll that you could pull her ponytail and it would grow. So the wigs for the tour are very inspired by that.
That is.
Wait, could you then retract the hair?
Yeah, you could then wind the hair back into the head.
Like she had a dial on her back, or you like spun her arm
had a
around
dial.
and her. Okay.
So you could
my
pull it to her
God.
feet and like brush it, and then you could be like short again and like make it a bob.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's a very
Kind of
innovative
into
doll.
it, but-
Kind of dumb. I have 3 of them, but
Like you have them from the original dolls.
no, I bought them if like drunk a few months ago. I love eBay drunk is very much like my gig.
Wow.
I did not say, because I was worried for Jenny's health, which episode this is, in case you don't know. This is the one, according to IMDb, where, while Giles is in England meeting with the Watchers Council, a bickering Anya and Willow mind the magic store and inadvertently conjure up a fearsome troll.
Mm-hmm.
Olaf, to be precise.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
It's a really fun episode.
You know, it's a good episode when like you said we're doing Triangle, and I knew exactly which episode. Probably didn't even have to rewatch it, but I did.
Yeah, let's like start there for a second. What is your, because we know people have been tweeting at us like, hey, do you know that Trixie Mattel is like a huge Buffy fan? Could you like maybe have her on the podcast? Do you know? Like you are known to Buffy fans as a major Buffy fan. So.
Yeah, but I'm also pretty closeted about it, especially since I'm friends with Tom. I'm always like, just don't let him know, you know? Like Tom doesn't need to know that in high school, you know, I had a part-time job where I would buy the box sets of DVDs to rewatch in the summers, you know?
Yes.
Tom doesn't need to know that.
Yes.
We won't tell Tom.
But
Tom,
I just
if you're listening, turn this off.
Yeah, jerk the wheel, flip the car. I remember this episode because I remembered it was this is right when Riley just left.
Yeah. Just went up on his helicopter.
The hottest boyfriend she ever had.
Oh, boy.
Don't you think?
This is great.
We have a long-standing feud on this podcast.
It depends what you like, because he's like a good guy, and I don't know.
And I don't like a good guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
some people are into like an emotionally available, very supportive,
good guy.
good-hearted, not evil, can go out in the sunlight and takes care of you and will take care of your sister and your mom too kind of guy.
I know. And he's taken a few really great steps before his demise last episode. But we also interviewed Mark Blucas.
You did.
Yes, and I was like, fuck Riley, fuck Riley, fuck Riley. And then we interviewed Mark Blucas, and I was like, anyway, Riley's fine because he's so beautiful.
Wow, is he even perfect in real life?
He's like more, I think he's more beautiful in real life.
Was
than,
he like 6'4", too, or some crazy
He's
shit?
so
giant.
fucking
We actually,
tall.
you should show Trixie your
Is
picture.
he still in great shape and everything?
Oh my
I
God,
bet.
he
Yeah. Strapping, broad of
gorgeous.
shoulder, blue of eye. He's the most beautiful smile you've ever seen.
We had Jenny compare her hand size to Mark's hand size because
is he just? I mean,
his hands are huge, which
yeah.
you
Like-
can. The clearest way you can see it is when he puts his hands on Buffy's like rib
She's
cage
like-
and like basically could just pick her up
Yeah.
one-handedly.
she's little. She's really
super
little. This one
tiny.
here. We didn't get there yet, but it really makes a really good moment where like Buffy talks to Dawn as like an equal about Riley being gone in this episode.
Yeah.
we can talk about it. We
They have
can
that-
bounce around.
They have that great moment where like, wow, she really is a few years younger, and she really is asking what it's like to have a real relationship problem. And
Yeah, because she's like, I mean, it's very sweet. The whole Dawn thing, I mean, we've just kind of uncovered, I guess this episode is the episode where she is starting to put two and two together that like something's up with her. But, you know, we've gotten to this point where Buffy knows that she's the key and Joyce knows that she's the key, and they still treat her like family, which is really powerful. And in that scene that you're talking about, she's like, it'll all be okay. Right? You know,
Right.
like, I actually don't know, but big sister, can you let me know that, like, when your heart is broken, it can heal?
yeah,
Which is really sweet. Okay, so let's start at the beginning where Xander is in bed with Anya, missing Riley, which I find enjoyable.
Hot.
We do sexual tension awards on this podcast, and we've been really eyeballing Xander and Riley and their love. So I thought it was very amusing that we opened and Xander in bed with Anya is like, I just can't stop thinking about that time that Riley asked me to borrow a crescent wrench and I didn't give it to him because, you know, he misses his boyfriend.
He misses his boyfriend, and also like after the last episode, they like the show needs us to know like Riley's gone. He's been gone for like a little while,
Yeah.
and he's not coming back. And like the only way we can, or like a clean way we can get that is from Xander, and also like Anya, so dry, so very dry. You can't give him that wrench unless he comes back, and I don't think he's going to.
yeah. And if he does come back, it's not going to be for the wrench. She says like, if he comes back, not for the wrench.
Right, not for the wrench, to clarify. Beautiful Anya.
They are all kind of in limbo in this episode. About there's a part where Buffy says, "Who knows? Maybe he'll come back." He's not coming back, girl.
Yeah. I mean, when somebody leaves on a helicopter, it's pretty final. In my experience.
Yeah, a lot of people leaving in helicopters.
They've never come back.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Anya preaches about how like sometimes it's the person, not the boyfriends. It's like Sarah Silverman has that joke about like if you're the person who always has bad roommates, you're the bad
You're
roommate.
the problem.
Right.
You know,
I also think it's like interesting that the angle they're coming in on is like, wow, Buffy like can't keep a man. That's too. She's like 20 or something.
And
like
it's been two.
like people
Totally.
have relationships when they're young, and
you
then they
can't
end.
keep a man. That is the energy, big time.
Yeah. But yeah, I do like that Anya, because Anya's a former fucking vengeance demon. So we usually get Anya on the other side of this line where she's like, fuck men. Like, they always fuck up. So I like that they gave her this, like, well, here's the thing. Like, sometimes I would go to this woman and she'd be like, fuck this guy. And then I'd like smite him. And then I'd come back and it'd be the same fucking woman with the same fucking problem all over again.
Totally.
Which is a nice, a little depth for
That is
Anya.
how people are.
Yeah. Yeah, we all have patterns.
Yeah.
I agree with you though, Jenny. I don't know that we can call it a pattern yet for Buffy. Since
Yeah, I think it's a little early to
I
call.
know everyone's like, I can't believe you didn't marry that TA. You know, why didn't you marry your TA from your intro to psych class? You must be something wrong with you.
Oh my god,
20. She's a spinster.
Well,
she can't
has
lock
to
it
know.
down.
She has to know that's the hottest guy she's ever going to get.
Well,
It
we'll
doesn't-
see. In my opinion,
Okay. Okay.
I can't say
She's had
anymore.
a lot of hot guys though,
Yeah, I mean, she
including
does well.
like season 2 Xander, who she didn't want.
Yeah,
Season
is
2, swim
Xander?
team
Yes.
Xander,
Oh my God.
Speedo Xander.
Which is very like, we got a season 2. I got a personal trainer, the actor.
Yes.
It's very like, I'm LA now. I'm hot now.
Can you put me in a Speedo?
The
for
reveal.
one scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
She said even some like little, what was his name?
Parker.
Parker was a little hot. Remember from season 1, Owen?
Oh my God, the film
the guy who liked,
He was
he
hot.
likes poetry.
Oh, who's the
Yes.
film guy?
The film guy was
How to Kill a Boyfriend on the First Date. That was the
Yeah.
episode.
yeah. And then Scott Hope.
Scott Hope.
Scott Hope.
Can we talk about Buffy's purple silk shirt and the fact that she's at a convent in the next scene?
Oh, I love this scene. I love when she asks, "How's the food?" to that nun. Oh my God.
Oh, I love that later we get Wimple talk, which actually, yeah, I had to look up what a Wimple. I kind of contextually.
Is it the flying nun hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the hat.
It's the thing.
Yeah, it's the right. I don't know why it's called a Wimple.
Religious people are wild.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about vampire folklore, but like
It's a fine line.
real existing religious people, not that crazier. Not that much crazier.
Right. No, yeah, exactly.
You're wearing a wimple and the wind blows.
Well,
You know what
that's,
I mean?
that's where the flying nun came
Oh,
from.
right.
Good point.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about Mark Blucas and Riley, and this is very important because he flew away in a fucking helicopter and he's not in the credits. So the credits play and Mark Blucas is sliced right out.
Wow.
Which is
Whoa.
Even the
important.
credits know Riley's
Even
never
the
coming
credits-
back.
The credits were like, oh, it was a helicopter. He's not coming back. Yeah. So I just want to point that out. Anya has moved up. Faith and Buffy dancing has moved up earlier into the credits. So we have like a pretty serious shift in this episode. If only Buffy herself could watch the credits, she would know.
Great moment for Emma Caulfield.
Yeah.
Hell. Yes.
All right.
Well, it's time for little father-daughter boxing stuff.
Yeah, Giles is drooling all over his books that he hasn't yet gotten his hands on. The Watchers Council have some good books. All sort of we're not to the next episode, but this is all like sort of setting us up for the episode that follows this episode.
Which I watched
Checkpoint.
after I had to because I love Checkpoint.
Yeah.
It's my favorite episodes.
So anyway.
Anyway,
Giles-
listen to the next one.
Yeah.
If you were going to quit today,
Yeah, hang
stick
on
with
for
us one
one.
more week.
Hang on for one more. So Giles is going to go to get more information on Glory, and the scene is kind of here to set us up for the next episode, but also to set us up for like Buffy's panic that like Giles don't tell them anything about Dawn, right? Like she's really concerned that like even the key is being brought up because she wants to make sure
Right.
that nobody's. Yeah.
Well, we gotta assume the monks very carefully crafted some Dawn-related memories
For the Watchers Council?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Now they just know that Buffy, their Slayer or former Slayer, has always had a little sister.
Mm-hmm.
we start to realize, I mean, this is like the preview for Checkpoint and that like, oh yeah, the council's still out there. Doing
Right.
God knows
And
what.
like, what are they doing with no Slayer?
Like seriously, are they just playing cards? Like
Yeah.
they just play solitaire and like backgammon?
You know what's wild
What
is
do
that
Watchers do?
they haven't had Faith, who is currently in prison right now, right?
Yeah, we know that,
They
'cause of
haven't
Angel.
had Faith like offed so that a new Slayer could rise that they could then mold
That's
and
a really
shape.
good point.
So honestly. And the fact that they've learned that they can, we've talked about this a little bit, but it's like they've learned that if a Slayer dies even for a moment, another Slayer is risen.
Oh yeah,
Choke
they
her
could be
out.
like,
So, right, exactly. I mean,
You
I wouldn't
know?
put it past them. Remember fucking Helpless? Like, they don't fucking care.
They don't care.
They don't care at all.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them.
I love this scene where it's like Buffy clearly like hates the council and Giles is like pornographically reminiscing about their library.
Truly. She's like, you get real weird when you talk about the book, Dad.
Yeah.
Please don't do that in front of me. Anya is like fucking.
oh my god,
Girl,
over
Anya's-
the moon.
Anya's like, great, leave.
Yeah, goodbye. I will see you never. Could you never come back?
I love that. I mean, what's one of the funniest things about her character is they gave her this like enthusiasm for retail, which some people really have.
Yeah.
You talk to people who own small stores, they are like her.
Yeah.
They love being at their store every day. I have friends who own a wine shop in my hometown and they're like, we love it. They're like, we're both here every day. We don't even want days off. I'm like, work.
It's like satisfying.
But
to-
also, she's like world's best employee, like, but too far. You know, and that's why Willow's like, I'm going to supervise. And I'm just
Right.
like, Anya couldn't. It's like a slap in the face that she needs supervision because she's like, but I'm the best saleswoman.
Right, because she doesn't understand the nuance. Like, because they're like, yeah,
she's
you're
like, the goal
great.
is make the most money.
Right, make the money, count the money. I am so good at all of those things. She doesn't really understand that like the other side of sales is, you know, being kind to the customers.
Yes, Giles tells her that she lacks finesse.
Yes, and she says that she has finesse coming out of her bottom.
She also says she can completely lie to the health inspector and bribe him with money and goods.
This scene,
she has all the skill sets in place. She just needs it just needs to be sanded down a little bit.
Should we play Anya her jingle?
Give it.
She spent 1 millennium demonically vengeancing, speaks her mind and then some. You know she's partial to the finer things and down with double boyfriends, oh yeah. Exchanging cash for goods and also services. She'd love to hold the money for ya. She'll hold that cash. Just keep the bunnies far from Anya.
Then Willow's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And Anya's like, you're talking about me like I'm not here.
So
but
rude.
But she says it to Xander. She's talking about me like I'm not here. Make it stop. So funny.
Like, have the conversation with Giles privately afterward. Like, there's no need. You do not need to do this in front of Anya.
Well, but this is the whole episode.
Have you guys ever had a relationship where your best friend and your new beau don't get along?
Didn't you write a song about that?
Yes, but it
from
was
a different
fictional
perspective.
It was made up.
She's a liar.
I was a liar.
Okay, so
She's a liar.
you lied.
I did.
Her life has no dynamics to draw from. Everything's perfect.
It's all made up.
Yeah.
I don't think that I've had this experience.
There's got to be a lot of people who, if this wasn't fictionalized, this is going to be a common thing.
Yeah.
Probably more common for straight people.
Well, but
Because
think
you know
about
how the girl-
lesbians.
Well, yeah, I guess. But don't you think, like, if you're best friends with someone, it's very common to think that no one's really good enough for them.
Yeah.
You know? And
True.
then if you're the new person in their life, you sometimes are threatened because you'll never know them as long as the other person.
Right.
Right,
You don't
right.
have those like inside jokes and the history. Totally. I mean, I felt like that a bit when my sister dated this total asshole. And she's well aware that he was an asshole. But it was really hard for me because she had not dated anyone seriously, like as an adult person. And that dynamic was really tricky because you don't want to get in the middle of a thing because what if it lasts?
Right.
But you also want to advocate for like, hey, you could like do a lot better than this person. So it's tricky. But with the Xander Anya dynamic, like I do not think that Xander could ever do any better than Anya. So I think Willow is incorrect with her assessment.
I love that scene where Willow is trying to do a spell and Anya confronts her about being a thief. Because that's when that's when the fight happens, right?
Yeah, well, it's like the seedlings for
Yes. And Willow's like, that's right. I'm a broad daylight in front of everyone burglar.
right.
Well, okay, but like Willow is a fucking menace in this episode.
Willow is.
She is stealing.
She is literally stealing.
And she's doing something purposely while Giles is gone because she knows she doesn't totally have Giles' trust either.
That's true.
Yes.
I had room for Willow with her taking the herbs, but she is a fucking menace outside of that. I mean,
she's identifying favorably with the Cat in the Hat.
thank you. That's exactly. I reread The Cat in the Hat. I just wanted to
I
like.
did some literature study for this.
Yeah, I did. I really do a lot of work for this podcast. But the fish is correct in The Cat in the Hat.
Right?
The fish has a fucking
The voice of reason.
The fish is like, yo, this fucking cat, you don't even know this cat. This cat is making a mess of the house and your mother is not here.
Yeah.
So I agree. Willow is a menace in this. And we love Willow. We are big Willow fans, but she's poking at Anya.
Well, Xander gets chased out of the magic shop, but then also Tara's also like, I'm not doing this either, dude.
Tara?
Yes.
In the fight.
Friction
Sorry,
is for everyone. There's friction for everyone.
I laughed because you saying Tara reminded me of that Tara's eyeshadow game is really on point in this point in the season. She's really going hard on eyeshadow. And 2, the first line that Tara has in this episode is when she calls Giles still Mr. Giles. And she's like, oh, Mr. Giles, you're going to the UK or you're going to London or whatever she says.
Mr. Giles.
So exotic. And then she's like, unless you're from there. And then I guess it's not. It's just like so... I feel like the writers are going a little hard on like the innocence of Tara right now.
I love that scene where Willow and Tara are talking about the Cat in the Hat and Anya's acting like it's the most obscure reference, inside joke. Like it's an inside joke.
Yes, I love it.
But she's like, I would never know what this is.
Yeah, you're being...
No one knows what this is.
And then she's like,
you're purposely excluding me. Yeah.
You're excluding me and you're doing that thing where you're going to try to make me do drugs and drink
Smoke
alcohol.
drugs, yes.
Yeah. There's also something important that happens in the first Magic Box scene where we learn, and this is important for later when we talk about our Sexual Tension Award nominees, we find out that Buffy and the nun, in a scene that was cut, the nun...
Too hot for TV.
Too hot
probably.
for TV. The nun let Buffy try on her wimple. So
Under what circumstances?
I demand to know.
The fact that the nun had that sort of like misdirecting curl that was supposed to maybe make us think for a half second that Buffy joined a convent coming out of her wimple, like that's conflicts with like nunnery, like ethical,
right? The whole point of the
like
wimple,
anti-vanity vibes, right?
That nun seemed on the fence.
Well, that's like Jewish people who wear wigs for modesty,
right?
I'm here to tell you, wigs are not modest. Wigs aren't worn to make people not notice you.
Right.
Especially since a lot of times people who wear wigs for religious reasons, they wear the same style as their hair, but it's fuller, glossier, longer. It's like
more
that's
majestic.
Not vanity.
Yeah.
It's not vanity. That's look at me.
Right.
I'm at the airport with a wig on.
Right.
Anyway.
Wig expert.
Yeah.
I mean, truly.
It's just so funny to me. I cover my hair with more beautiful hair because I'm modest.
Yeah.
Okay, same.
I never really
same. I'm being modest
about
right
that.
now.
Yeah. I mean, truly.
Yeah.
I would have never noticed that you were even there.
Yeah. Very modest.
So just to be very clear, Xander leaves in some distress.
Yes.
As does Tara. They are like, uncomfortable with what's going on. And they wisely vacate the premises so that we can go to the Summers house and get the update on Joyce's bathrobe.
Right. And we talked about this scene. This was actually the scene that we kind of opened with. I mean, Joyce is out of her bathrobe. The title of Joyce's memoir in this episode is Out of the Bathrobe and Into the Bandana, the Joyce Summer story.
Yes. Yes, I love when they're reading her for having a smelly bathrobe.
She's so insulted.
Yes.
It doesn't smell.
I have a practical question. When you have brain surgery...
They would have shaved her head.
Oh,
You
sure.
think?
I think.
Well, I think part of it is shaved. I think that's what the bandana's covering,
But
right?
not enough.
Do
I
you think
feel
they
like-
would have given her more of like an undercut?
Yeah, I think.
but
if only we had gotten Joyce with an undercut.
but
a trendy like, kind of butch undercut.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
she got like some purple in
And
there.
like a cartilage piercing.
Yeah.
hell yes.
Oh, R.I.P. Pat, but Pat would have loved that.
Yes.
But like when you have a hole in your skull, when they have to make a hole in your skull to go in and do something, what happens to that part of your skull? Do you just have a hole forever, or do they cover it with a steel
Like
plate?
a plate?
Or
I think they replace it.
Like with the bone, they put the bone back, or
I
they?
think they put it back.
Well, we have
Ooh.
definitely we have a lot of people pausing right now to
Yeah.
email us.
Yeah,
we have a lot
someone
of
will
doctors
know.
who listen.
Please let us know.
A lot of doctors.
Yeah, a lot of-
self-proclaimed doctors.
Our scientists are all clickety clacking to let us know. So yeah, please let us know what happens to the brain chip that they take out. Not to be confused with Spike's brain
It's a
chip,
whole other
which
kind
is
of-
actually a fantastic transition that I just did because the next scene is fucking Spike.
Wait, before we go to Spike, I just need to tell you one thing that we left out when we first talked about Dawn and Buffy. Talking about Riley, which is that Dawn is wearing a sweatshirt that says "Glamour is my occupation," and it has a tube of lipstick on it. Trixie, your thoughts?
I mean, I love something I love about this series is that Michelle Trachtenberg is 35 years old, and they're really playing her like she's like 11. Because I think I heard this somewhere. I think they were originally casting younger.
Yeah,
But Michelle
They were.
Trachtenberg was really good, which she is. She is good in this, and they do try to. I think like infantilize her sometimes. You know, she always
Yeah.
has like braids and no makeup on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Buffy's always
barrettes
playing
in
with
like
her
this
hair.
Even though
this
she's a
part
full
of the
foot
season.
taller than Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you said she was supposed to be 12.
They originally
at
wrote
first, the
her as 12, and they
character.
didn't change the first like 3 episodes worth of scripts
Yeah.
to like age her up once they cast Michelle and decided that Dawn would be like 14 instead of 12 or 11.
I'm proud of you for reading what that sweatshirt said because I tried and I like tried a couple of times and failed and just gave up. I was like, I can't read what
It
it
called to me.
I love the fashion in these shows sometimes, and especially in Buffy. It's like a time capsule.
says. Really.
It's really amazing.
But also, was anybody wearing Like the amount of leather pants,
Yeah.
the amount of like sleeveless silk, like ruffle-throated blouses. We're 19-year-olds running around wearing this shit.
A lot of silky, like ruffled blouses. Very like, and a lot of like borderline hard nipples, like no bra, fabric clinging to skin.
Yeah.
Very LA though, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. And actually, Spike's mannequin has serious nipples.
Serious nipples.
I mean,
Which
Buffy's so often wearing a shirt that is actually fabric on a neck string. It
Right.
is.
You are correct.
It's like flowy at the boob, and usually it's like lower back open. She's also very shows back. I mean, whatever. Listen, she's 20 years old.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Wait till you're 40? Do it now. And she's
But
not
if you're
gonna make it that
listening,
long.
yeah.
She thinks she'll die young. So
Right,
she's
that's
like,
true.
I gotta
She's
be a
gotta
hooker
get it.
now. Yeah.
So, okay, so fucking nipple mannequin, which, by the way, now that I've said that, mannequins don't have nipples.
Depends on the mannequin.
Really?
I think sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do. I'm so used to just like the boob bulge, no nipple mannequin. But okay, so this mannequin has
Store by
nipples.
store variations.
Right. Spike has explicitly chosen the nippled
Like
mannequin.
I bet they do at Victoria's Secret.
Oh, okay.
I bet they don't at like the Limited too.
That makes
Oh
sense.
my God, I hope not.
Which is where Dawn shops.
Big hard nipples at the Limited too. Yeah.
So your 12-year-old nipple.
Yeah.
You know what? Never mind.
Gives a whole new meaning to the Limited too. Okay, so Spike, this is I find this scene to be very fascinating. I don't mean to like be too serious, but Spike is trying to practice being a good person. Like he's essentially, first of all, it's ridiculous. He has a box of chocolates and he's trying to be like, so Buffy, to the mannequin. But he gets really angry, flips out. He fucking throws all the chocolates to the ground and then he picks them back up and he starts back at the beginning again.
I don't think this is the beginning of this process for him
right,
at all,
he's-
right? He's been at this like half the day.
Exactly. But I just think it's very interesting for the character because we're just learning, we're only a few episodes into knowing that Spike is obsessed with Buffy in a very unhealthy way. But Spike's had a chip for a long time and he's sort of been like walking this line of like, why are they letting him live? Like, even though he can't fucking kill anybody, like he has evil intentions. He's trying
He would
to
kill people.
He
if he
would.
could.
Well, and some people feel bad for him, but I love that Buffy's always down to kill him. And someone always stops her.
Right. But also she hasn't.
Yeah.
You know? And so I just think that it's important to just put a little pin in this moment because we've seen Spike do a lot, but we've never, I don't think, seen Spike apart from the little pat that he gave to Buffy in Fool for Love. We haven't seen him like trying to change his anger patterns.
Yeah,
which
this
is,
scene is psycho.
right?
Where
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
talking to this mannequin. Also, this one-sided fight he has with her. He's like, I'll insult him if I want to. And she hasn't said anything. She's
Yeah.
a mannequin. I love that.
It is, and it's very like, not to like, again, take us serious, but it is very like abusive. Sort of like, it doesn't matter what she was saying. This guy who has an anger problem is going to get himself angry no matter what she says. She's a fucking mannequin. She's
Yes.
literally not replying, and he's still angry with what she has, quote, said.
Yeah.
So there's,
Also, the busted Buffy wig on the mannequin. So good.
Yeah, this is like a real, there's a lot of wig happening in this episode for
Yeah.
you. We didn't do that
A
intentionally.
lot
but
of wiggery. Yeah.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But we also sell merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell and grow at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. They have an all-in-one e-commerce platform and in-person POS system, so wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. With the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers. Shopify has allowed us to share something tangible with the podcast community we've built here, selling our beanies, sweatshirts, and mugs to fans of our shows without taking up too much time from all the other work we do to bring you even more great content. And it's not just us. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Shopify is also the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/REALM now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. And if you have sensitive skin, you're going to want to hear about their scientifically proven topical supplements. Free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make skin red, irritated, or itchy, their products are safe for sensitive skin. It's just one of the reasons they've earned the skin-safe seal of approval.
They've also earned the Jenny Owen Young's and Kristin Russo seal of approval, if I do say so myself, Jenny.
I couldn't agree more. I've been using OneSkin for a few months, and after a few weeks, I remember it like it was yesterday. I texted Kristin and I was like, maybe she's born with it. I looked in the mirror that morning and was like, oh, things are happening, and I am happy.
I have used a million billion skin products, and I did not think that I was going to switch off of the skin like lotion, the moisturizer that I used, and the under eye cream that I used, because I have used them for a little while and I really like them. And I've switched completely, which is a pretty big deal. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and if you can, please tell them that we sent you.
I just want to draw attention for one moment in time to the fact that there is, at the cash wrap station of the Magic Box, there's like your, shoplifters will be transfigured and magic happens signage. But then there is inexplicably a little poster for McCabe's Guitar Shop, which is a guitar store in Santa Monica, for absolutely no reason.
It's a real guitar shop in Santa Monica.
Yeah. Who in set design found that?
Is it
and was
still
like,
a guitar shop?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, alive and well.
That's a fun piece of trivia.
But it's like nowhere near Santa Barbara.
Is that where Sunnydale's supposed to be?
Yeah, we've been putting together a lot of facts across the seasons, and it does seem pretty explicitly like it. Actually, just a couple episodes ago, the area code for the Magic Box is the Santa Barbara area code.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
the mayor of Santa Barbara and
The actual mayor of Santa Barbara currently. Well, then.
now she's no longer the mayor, but she and like some of her friends who are all into Buffy invited us up and took us like all over town and showed us like
they gave us like a binder full of research, and they were like, you are here because we are proving to you once and for all that Sunnydale is Santa Barbara.
Like, here are the sites of like all the exterior like B-roll like town shots that you see like time and time again across the seasons. It's like there's a lot of supporting evidence.
Yes.
Wow.
So we believe here at Buffering the Vampire Slayer that
I wonder if Joss Whedon ever lived there.
in Santa Barbara.
A lot of people write about places they've been.
Yeah.
Like in It, which I read this year, Derry is supposed to basically be Bangor, Maine, because Stephen King lived in Bangor, Maine.
That makes sense.
Did you read that book?
Oh, hell yeah.
Crazy.
Way too young.
So
way
scary.
too young.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
it was
Stephen
scary.
King phase was like, I was like 13 and 14. And like,
Everybody has read It when they were like a kid, and I didn't read it till now. and
You're
people-
so lucky.
Yeah, it was manageable as an adult. It was manageable.
But
I
still pretty
didn't-
bad, right?
Still pretty intense.
I didn't
Yeah.
read, I actually have not read it. I read,
Scary.
yeah.
And long.
I read Misery when I was a kid, and that was fucked up.
And I read Dr. Sleep this year, too.
Oh, I've never read that either.
Great.
I haven't
It's
read that one
great.
either.
Anyway.
Anyway.
But he probably lived in Santa Barbara or something else. Why would he purposely pick that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's cheap to get B-roll there.
Maybe.
Okay, so now we're at the Magic Box.
Yeah, now we're at the Magic Box. Willow is taking ingredients off the shelf.
And also, again, not a key point in this episode, but we have been on Amy watch. Amy has been a fucking rat for like seasons, you know?
Yes.
Willow is fucking creating trolls and like, I mean, she's doing massive
Doing all kinds of
magic.
shit. How is Amy still a rat?
And she gives a nod to Amy still being a rat in the scene. And she's like, but I think that the spell that I did, even though it didn't make her human, made her smarter because she's always looking at me rubbing her paws. So I like to extrapolate from this that Amy is as mad as we are that Amy is still a rat. And Amy the rat is plotting against Willow.
But also, like, the number one thing rats do, like
rub their
regular
paws
rats, is rub their paws together.
Yeah.
For sure.
I took it as like she's kind of like imagining something that's not really happening.
Yeah. But like,
Just, like,
between
hang
like
out with me for a second.
Giles, like all the resources at their fingertips
It's
for this
ridiculous.
girl to still be a rat is wrong.
It is. Okay, so we talked about this scene a bit with the cat in the hat and the fish, and this is where, you know, we're getting a little bit more. The whole episode sort of takes us step by step to like the root of what really is making Anya upset with Willow and what's really making Willow upset with Anya. So we get a little bit further in that here. Anya is fucking typical Anya. Like, Anya, you just need to be quiet for like 4 seconds.
Yes, I love this when she's itemizing every piece of the ingredients.
Yes.
And that one piece, she goes, bargain.
Yeah. And then the next one, she's like,
Ooh,
it's
it's gonna cost you.
That's going to cost you.
Whether we're behind Willow wanting to do this, whether it's wrong or not, it's a good idea.
Great concept.
She wants to make a daylight weapon. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's cool.
pretty fucking cool. But she, of course, does not. I love her line when Olaf appears. They've manifested Olaf because Anya interrupted the spell, and very reminiscent of what was the episode where Willow made the fairy lights to guide her, and the more confused she got, the more they attacked her. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, this was the nightmare one in season 4.
Yeah.
When they were in that haunted
when they were in the frat
haunted
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. The effect was very similar, and it was like the angrier she got, the more the light ball that she had half created. Anyway, Olaf comes out, and Willow has this amazing line where she's like,
He's not a ball of sunshine.
So good.
yeah.
And then I think right away they are driving down the street trying to track him.
Oh my God.
And
In Giles' car.
In Giles' car.
Oh,
his little
so
hot rod.
stressful.
And Anya reveals that she has never driven. And she says, I didn't know I could until I tried.
Right. She's
Which,
so mad.
true.
Right. Good point. And there's somebody wrote into us and was like, do you remember in the beginning when Anya was first not a demon anymore, she asked Xander to drive out of town with her. So they were like, is it a continuity issue? Like, cause could she drive then? And she says she's never driven. And so the consensus was that she had a driver.
Oh, okay.
She had a driver back then. And
Yeah,
this is
from her De Hoffren
Pension,
Vengeance
or-
Demon stipend
Yes.
/ sunset
fancy.
pay.
Yeah. Anya's a fancy lady.
I also love that Willow's like, I can't believe I made that troll. And Anya's like, you didn't.
Yeah.
It was in the crystal. Calm down. You didn't do that. And then the pages are flying out of the car. And she's like, hope we didn't need those.
Oh my God. The two of them in the car is maybe one of my favorite scenes in the episode just because it's so chaotic and it's so well acted, I think, by both of them too. It's just very funny.
Buffy and Tara find the shop dismantled and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, before they get to back to the shop, they have this scene at college. Which
Oh, right.
I point out only because remember college? Like it's the first time we've seen college in a long time.
It's when she's #triggered.
Yes.
She thinks that their relationship is going to fall apart.
They have a miraculous love.
A miraculous
They have
love.
a miraculous love. She reminds her crying sounds so much like Sarah Jessica Parker's crying in that scene. It reminds me of listen, I know it's niche, but the Family Stone, like Sarah Jessica Parker crying in the Family Stone is identical to the sound that Sarah Michelle Gellar makes in the Miraculous Cry Love.
A miraculous love.
What?
A miraculous love. Isn't there anybody that loves me?
Okay. So yeah, Buffy is crying. She's very triggered. Really, her being triggered is kind of what defeats Olaf in the end.
We'll get there. But I love seeing somebody give Anya and Xander's relationship this enthusiastic of a 2 thumbs up, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like
that's true.
Anya has been around way longer, but has not really been accepted into the group in the loving way that like Tara has been
Do you
recently.
think that's because of like gay guilt? Like Tara got warmly welcomed because they felt guilty, like
Maybe, but I think it's just people have a hard time with directness.
I don't think anyone really likes Anya. I don't think anybody in this group looks forward to this person.
Yeah. And Anya, I don't remember even what scene it is, but Anya has like a really great moment where she's like, there are a lot of people who are much stranger than me. And like,
she's got a point.
She does have a fucking point. So there's this little scene at the Bronze between Spike where Xander runs into Spike.
And I think this is the first time we're finding out about Spike's love of bloomin' onions.
Yep. He loves that it's shaped like a flower. He later recommends it to Olaf, who is hungry for babies.
Yes. Xander's also very possessive of his basket of peanuts, which to my eye looks like the free basket of peanuts you get at a bar, right?
I agree. And
Xander also hates Spike.
True.
Yes. But I'm glad you brought up the peanuts specifically because I'm pretty sure that Xander slaps Spike's hand away from the peanuts.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is a note that I took. And I gave it the stars that put it into the nomination bin for sexual tension. Doesn't mean it'll be there at the end.
Okay.
But I liked the little hand slap away from my peanuts between Xander and Spike. Okay. So Olaf has destroyed the magic box.
Puny receptacle, he screams.
Yes.
So this you should talk about this actor, Jenny, because we were having a battle of who knew what about Benjamin.
Oh, yes.
What is his full name?
Where is his
He's
full
great
name?
in this.
He's amazing.
What a memorable character. Did you notice that he talks like Anya?
100%.
It's like gives context why she talks like that. They're both from this weird fictional midsummer
some kind of Scandinavian land.
And they talk
where they have Renaissance fairs.
Weirdly specific and maybe
they
talk
noticed
the
that.
same.
I love that.
Maybe it's just how certain languages, when they're translated to English, or when you're learning a different language, you see that you put the verb in a different place, the ordering of sentences feels different, and they kind of approach things similarly in that way too.
Like when people learn foreign languages in high school, they oftentimes talk too proper.
Mm-hmm. Right. Totally.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So that's Abraham Reuben Hercules Ben Ruby.
That's his name.
That's his fucking name.
He's been on everything. He was on ER, I think, for a while.
For a very long
time. The X-Files. He's kind of been...
He's Kubiak on Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
There it is.
He is known for his towering height. When you look him up on IMDb, that is they're notable features. Towering height. He's 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's amazing in this role.
He's so
as
funny
well.
in this.
Yeah, he's
Dude,
great.
the way that he says, "It was one wench." It's
Also, I love when they're like, "But don't you like being a troll?"
Yeah.
He's mad, but also he likes it.
He's gotten used to it.
Right. He's adapted.
I think he's playing it down. I think he actually enjoys it a little bit more than he wants them to know, because he wants his rage at being made troll to be justified.
Right.
Well, not a spoiler, but in future seasons, we do get a glimpse of him out of drag.
Right.
Before he's a troll.
Right.
And he's not very different.
He's kind of the same. I don't remember.
He's sort of a misogynistic, he still talks like that, very direct and weird.
So are we to believe then, do we understand Anya's full arc here? She was just a person like Willow.
Yeah.
And she got mad enough to
learn how to do a spell. To turn her boyfriend into a troll.
And so then D'Hoffryn, just like with Willow, recruited her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that she was just a regular old Anya.
Yep.
Living in whatever fairyland they lived in together.
Yes.
Great.
We also get Finland or some shit.
Right adjacent to the world without shrimp, which is brought up for the second time in this episode.
Sorry.
I like that, actually, that Trixie sound effect.
Well, thank you. Jewelry
There's
hitting the ground.
jewelry clattering.
So, Spike and Xander playing pool, venting about people not understanding their significant others. Relatable.
Fucking yes.
Do you think this is gay?
I think they're just getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
They just have so much to talk about, these guys.
I love when Spike is like, I really know how you feel, man. Nobody really understood Drew.
It is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see her at my gym all the time.
Juliet?
Yeah. I've seen her 3 times.
Wow.
Have you ever said hello?
No, I mean, she's at the gym. She's doing her thing. She's a very...
That's true. The gym is a bad place.
She has that movie star thing where she's, very beautiful and very odd looking in person, because she really has you know, like people who are really beautiful on screen oftentimes have like really big eyes, really big cheekbones.
right,
And
like
in person, you're
exaggerated features.
Whoa.
Yeah, totally.
And she's so thin, and so she's always just doing her thing, staying in shape. She looks great.
She's amazing. Okay. Olaf busts in, breaks up the boyfriends at the pool table because he is so thirsty and hangry.
He wants ale. He wants
babies,
some succulent babies to
Spike's
eat.
like, I think you could just get some of those at the hospital. And Xander's
God.
back of the head slap. So this is like fun. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Fucking Olaf wants to like pillage the town of Sunnydale and eat babies. So if you're taking it literally, it's not fun, but it is it's a very fun.
And then there's this fabulous reveal of when Olaf says, "You're just like when we were dating." It's
and
great.
everyone's like, record scratch, fucking.
It's great.
It is. And Xander's like, what?
So it's like Willow's fault that this troll's out of the crystal. It's Anya's fault that this troll exists.
Right.
Now it's
Yes.
everyone's problem. It's everyone's fault, you know?
Oh, so it was a
Now
joint
it's everyone's
effort.
fault. Yeah.
Right. They can share the blame. Okay, so Olaf also hates witches, we learn. Willow is really struggling to get her spell out. She's like trying over and over again. It's not working. Olaf knocks the whole fucking balcony down. Which
that's right.
Yeah.
That happens a lot at the Bronx.
Yeah. They should probably rethink something. Like, you know, this is a place
maybe
where
steel
The Bronx,
construction.
where they've been going since they were in high school.
Sophomores in high school.
It's everything. It's a coffee house. It's a music venue. It's a nightclub.
They get some fabulous. I know. There's no musical guest this episode, I don't think, but they have some incredible musical.
They seriously do. And like 20 people show up for like Chibomado, who we've seen.
Michelle Branch, who cares? 5 people. Charmed did the same thing.
Were you a Charmed fan?
Yeah, but I was just talking to my boyfriend about this. People who live in the fantasy that Charmed is as good as Buffy need to get real.
I agree with you.
I know a lot of people who think it's better.
Seriously?
Dead serious. It's never better.
How? We should do a live event where people
of Charmed
battle
is
this
not as good as
out.
the worst episode of Buffy.
Yeah, I agree. And I like Charmed.
Of course, I've watched the whole thing,
Yeah.
but you know.
Wow. Okay, so Spike is like trying to fucking show off by not devouring the victims of the
And is
brides.
shocked that this fails to impress
He
Buffy.
has a really creepy fucking moment. I mean, he's creepy. He's being creepy. He's been being creepy.
I love it. And he goes, you really want credit for not like feeding off a dying person? And he's like, what does it take?
Like, what does she want from me?
But he like, I think a little bit before that, she like falls on him. And he like doesn't he's supposed to be helping with the battle, but instead he like holds her for an extra second, and it's like,
Sir. Excuse me, sir.
Very, yeah. Anyhow, Buffy basically gives her like battle orders, and she's like, Xander, follow Olaf. So now we wind up back at the magic box.
Oh yeah.
And fucking Olaf is like, oh, this is rough.
Olaf snaps Xander's wrist.
It is like it
shocking.
hurts my wrist to watch the scene. Like
it's shocking.
It is because we
It's
don't
brutal.
see injuries like that often. Where like it's
something that's going to require a cast and a significant time to
Yeah.
heal, and possibly bone could be jutting out of skin,
Yeah.
maybe.
And they really want you to see that Xander. This is a very like Solomon's baby kind of setup, right? Of like
Right.
We can tell that Xander loves them both because Xander won't choose, and we can tell, and Willow can tell how much Anya truly loves Xander because she says, "Take me, don't take him."
And this is like right after, like before Olaf rolls up again, when it's
Right.
just Willow and Anya. They're having this conversation where they're sort of like
Yes.
revealing to each other like what their fears and insecurities are one another. Like Willow is afraid that Anya's gonna hurt Xander either physically or like break his heart. And Anya is afraid that she's like never going to be truly accepted by the other like really important people in Xander's life. And they're like gaining a little common ground, and then
Sorry,
Yes?
I'm laughing because in that exchange, it's a very important exchange, and I'm with you. It's also where Willow says to Anya, like, did you get your 1,000 years of hurting men gold watch? Which I feel is just very enjoyable. And
1,000 years, you hope it'd be better than a gold watch.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But to me,
and a little below the belt. And I mean, I think her concerns are kind of warranted. It's like you have a history of fucking guys up.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course I'm concerned.
Right. I agree. I just liked the watch.
Of course. So funny. And then they're so good at writing in this. They always come up with this supernatural problem that parallels the real life problem, right? I mean, they're asking him in the beginning of the episode to choose a side, and now he is to choose which one of them lives or dies. You know, so good. They do such a good job of that. They do so many. There's so many parts in this episode where if you took out the supernatural part of it, it could be a real fight.
Well, that's like, I mean, obviously we all know this, but like that is the beauty of this genre of show, and like what this show does so well, better than maybe everyone in this room agrees any other supernatural show, is that it takes that and it lets you drill down even further to the point. It's like all those people that you were talking to through the microphone earlier, like, have you ever been in this position? I feel like a lot of people have. It's like, well, those people don't get to have this blowout of a situation to really get down to the bottom of it all and to see the truth. Most people in day to day are never going to get to this truth, and they're just going to be like fucking pissed and not have a good relationship. But these guys, like, we see them get deeper because we get the supernatural to get us there.
Willow, in this flurry, there's a couple really nice things. When Olaf first gets there, he's got this whole attitude of like, I could be eating babies right now, but because you're doing this magic, I had to like come here and stop you. Like, you're really cutting into my baby eating time. Then we have like the wonderful moment where, you know, Anya's like, take me instead. And then it's like very crystal clear to Willow that like, you know, things are chiller than she suspected or feared. And then Willow makes the cash register disappear.
So funny.
Not for the first time.
Right, that's true. It's the second time.
So funny.
And then they find a beautiful way to each like lean into their strengths and team up to defeat Olaf. Willow directs Anya to piss Olaf off.
Yes, and
which she's so good at.
She's so proud of the fact that Willow has, like, you know, given her accolades for this skill that she has of pissing everybody off. Olaf also, when he walks in, says, "You fight well, although you were a tiny man."
Yes,
which I think is a fun line.
And then the plot twist is, I'm going to give you a reward. Only one of them has to die, and you have to choose, which is kind of almost worse.
Right. It is definitely.
Way worse.
Okay, who would you have picked, though?
How dare you?
Come on, what do these people listen for? They want to know.
If it's based, oh God, we're going to get burned alive. If it was based only on the behavior in this episode, Willow's got to die.
I'm not.
I pay for the ingredients.
The lesbians would like a word with you.
No, I'm fired.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, actually. This is a very important episode for Willow and a great way for me to distract from the choice I will never make. But Willow, in her exchange with Anya, her defense of how could you think, because we haven't really talked about it, but Anya is like, well, I don't know. Last time you fucking kissed him and that's what ended him in Cordelia. So like maybe. And so fucking Willow is like, hello, gay now. Like her whole argument against like why this wouldn't happen is that she's gay now. So she's not attracted to men. And I'm sorry to bring you into this, Trixie, but this is the episode that you're on with us. And we have had people at us for quite some time. This is a very heated debate because we've seen a very meaningful relationship between Willow and Oz. And we're seeing a very meaningful relationship between Willow and Tara.
Right.
And so people have wanted to know our opinion for a long time, but we haven't been able to talk about it because it would be a spoiler. What do we think about the fact that Willow self-identifies as gay? And this is where it happens. Discuss.
Identity's fluid. As long as Willow's like getting it good, like who gives a shit? She used the word, not us.
Well, that's where my opinion
and the time
comes in.
indicator. Go ahead.
No.
I mean, I just think of it as shorthand. Basically, when you say you're straight, what you're really saying is, that's my go-to. I'm primarily interested in.
Fair.
It doesn't really mean like forever. It doesn't mean, kind of just means today.
And I'm there with that. Like, I say I'm gay, and that doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like, it's not very true in the sense of like, you know, whatever you might take gay to mean. But Willow is using it as the reason she wouldn't be attracted to Xander, which I think is important. Here's my opinion. If these are real people and Willow is saying I'm gay, then she's fucking gay. Like you said, she is what she says she is. But this is also a writer's room. And so I think that a lot of people who are very frustrated about her being written as a character who says I am gay now is that we have a lot of people who listen who identify as bisexual and who constantly feel erased because if they're dating a woman right now, then their bisexuality is erased. Or if they're dating a man right now, their bisexuality is erased. So I think that it's at least important to point out that this is a writer's room choosing to make Willow gay because she's now with a woman rather than like real life where Willow's like, you know, I'm gay now, which is fair.
We always knew she was a little gay. Like, do you remember in the,
yeah.
was it The Wish?
Yes.
We always knew that she at least had an idea of it.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize till late in life.
Yeah, and
they just don't get the shine in you know, they're not in the CW having a storyline as like a 35-year-old
right
becoming gay.
Right.
It's always like a 12-year-old crying.
Right.
You know? So, you know.
So we'll, you know, just for you, for those of you who've been waiting for this.
It's
for
like
our
who
discussion.
turns lesbian and then goes back to straight? Nobody.
Okay.
The other way around, maybe. But like, nobody's going like, lesbianism isn't what it's cracked up to be. They're like, oh, never mind, this is fierce.
This is amazing.
Really, I think. I mean, plus, if you look at the type of relationship she has with Tara, we're talking about her high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
And we're talking about her adult woman first real relationship. The gender's almost not important because the relationships are different.
Very different.
The depth is different. I mean, it is like a soulmate situation with Tara.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's so obvious that, I mean, of all the couples in the show, they're the real like soulmate couple that we ever see.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're just meant to be together.
I agree.
Oh,
we love
I am so gay for them.
Oh God. I mean, I
think we already have it. Oh, was this family where they're slow dancing and they're floating?
Oh God, yes.
I know.
We like wept through that episode talking about that episode.
Amazing.
It's so fucking good. Sorry that I derailed
That
us
was that episode.
to talk about sexuality, but that's my responsibility. You're all welcome, and I'm sorry. Back to the fight. Willow and Anya are doing their battle plans behind the cash register. Xander's got a snapped wrist. Buffy.
Xander's getting his ass kicked, by the way.
Oh my God.
Like,
he's
really,
like breaking himself agast that hammer over and over and over again.
He's like really
Buffy
throwing himself into it, which is like, that is kind of Xander's deal. He's
and
like,
then Willow says, Buffy, and then Tara, stay back. You think Tara's going to sprint at that troll?
Tara, if you watch Tara in this scene, she is just like at the door of the magic box, like with her back against it, just watching, standing like stock still for so long.
You'd think she'd maybe throw some of her witch knowledge into the bin here.
I don't think that she's like as confident or like ready to get involved
She just
in that
started
way.
wearing eyeshadow.
That's
She's
true.
finding
That's
herself.
true. Baby steps,
She's
Kristin.
finding herself.
One thing at a time.
So yeah, Buffy, you know, Anya's like, the power is in the hammer. So Buffy gets the hammer and then goes back to Olaf,
And
who's
then gets hit again.
Oh my
and
God.
then he goes, oh, by the way, he's still a troll.
Yeah, he still has
fucking
strength, obviously.
So.
Also, I was watching with the closed captioning on, and when Buffy pulls Olaf's arm up behind his back, the closed captioning is in brackets, ligaments tearing.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Who did the closed captioning?
I don't know.
Gross.
Buffy whoops his ass pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Willow, right, poofs him
Back
to
into the crystal.
Well, but
thinks.
first, before Willow can poof him away, Olaf dares to say that their love will never last. He calls Xander ludicrous and far too breakable, which, like, okay.
Fair, yeah. It's a good
And then
assessment.
Buffy's like, love is real! And then she beats him into submission. And then the poofing.
It's a fun way of coming off of Into the Woods because they want to show that Buffy is struggling with this, and I love the way that they do it.
The comedy of it.
Yeah, that they like let us have an enjoyable, funny episode, but they still get to the point of like Buffy's struggling with this. She's not struggling like she struggled when Angel left.
No. It's also very her style to hit something to cope. That's always been her thing.
Yeah, action.
You know?
She's an action girl, you know?
Yeah, remember just a couple episodes ago when she was pounding that rubber snake face?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Beating the hell out of it. That completely realistic.
Very realistic. Yes.
Right at the cutting edge of available technologies.
Yeah. And then she gets this cool hammer out of it.
Yes.
And who knows, we might see that again someday.
I mean, you know, it seems like a good weapon, so perhaps it will
so heavy.
come back. Also, not to talk about a GIF, but I'm going to talk about a GIF. There is like the most frequently used Buffy crying gif happens in this episode, and it's
pigtails, wadded up tissues.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's like, you guys are so good together and you're alive.
Beautiful and
she,
alive.
Yeah, she puts her sort of face into a tissue.
I
and
love
cries.
emotional Buffy.
Yeah.
How funny to make it comedy and not just boo-hoo. It
Yes.
would have been a little exhausting for her to be just moping the whole episode.
Agree. That's why I really like how
and
they
she's
treated him.
Everything is sort of through the filter of her like looking at her friends' relationships and like actually kind of uncharacteristic for Buffy, like processing her pain, but like in a productive way, worrying about her friends. Usually she's very like inward focused.
Do you think that's really an interesting observation? Because the whole assessment of Riley, like basically what she's facing right now is that Riley said she was not open and was not able to do X, Y, and Z. So it is interesting. That
Is it too early to ask this?
Never.
If you were the Slayer and the key was the only way that the world was going to end, you'd kill Dawn, right? 'Cause I would kill Dawn. I'm just saying. Is that dark? I've thought about this every time. I've thought about this. She killed Angel. What's the fucking difference? Like,
oh, but it's her sister, not like.
I listen. I would have walked in. I would said, "Dawn, what are you doing?" Bam, elbows. Like, I mean, I would have made it quick.
Wait, so who would you choose between Willow and Anya?
Oh,
while we're killing people.
Yeah, while you're killing everybody.
Willow.
You would kill Willow.
Yes.
Everybody's killing Willow.
You save the lesbian, but also you she's been friends longer.
Yeah, I wouldn't kill Willow.
Anya's like
I
1,000 years.
I wouldn't
She's had a good
survive long because I would kill no one and I would just be killed. That's my problem in life.
Anya's already lived forever.
That's true.
Yeah,
Anya's had a good run.
She's had a good run.
I would also not kill Dawn. I'm sorry, everyone. It's just not my way.
I guess you're just a really good person.
I'm just such a good person. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that we aren't the Slayer. I guess you're fine.
You would have killed Dawn? I mean,
I would at least have thought about it.
When I heard that Dawn was the key, I would have killed her.
Okay, so speaking of Dawn, this is how the episode. So Olaf is poofed away until we think maybe, Willow is like, I'm not really sure. It's kind of like throwing a bee at a puppy.
Yes.
As you do.
As you do all the time. And the immediate threat is put to rest. But of course, we have our larger arc of season 5. This is not the point of the scene, but I want to give a shout out to Michelle Trachtenberg's fishtail braids because they're fucking beautiful. And I love them. And I love a fishtail braid.
Her hair is so beautiful in the show all the time.
Very shiny.
You can
So
tell that
long
like
and
the
strong
hair
and
people are
beautiful.
just like, what can we do? And like play with Michelle Trachtenberg's beautiful hair.
I mean, do you remember the opening of the season? What's the second episode? Like, where
Real Me.
Yeah, the Real Me. She has like hair clips.
Yeah.
They really make her a child.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's before they had just given up on her being 12.
Yeah.
So she overhears, first of all,
These motherfuckers. Can't they go somewhere? They're always having this conversation 1 to 2 rooms away from Dawn.
I talk about
just
this
like,
on the My So-Called Life podcast
go somewhere
too.
else.
Like, you've learned the acoustics of your home. How many times are you going to make this mistake of like, please? But yeah, they're talking about Joyce knowing. And Dawn overhears. And
I mean, we knew she was going to find out. We didn't know, but how would you know?
how would you not find out eventually? But this
With
is a
people fucking
shit.
talking about it 1 room away from you. Yeah, how would you not find out?
This is a shitty way to find out, though. It's like basically everyone she loves the most in a room talking about it. It's rough. Dawn's had a rough run. And
Well,
it's
the
gonna
metaphor
continue.
here in this season is sort of about mixed families and about like maybe adoption or, how much is someone your chosen family really?
Yeah.
And I guess if you were her, how would you want to find out, It's like, you don't want to find out that way.
No, you want somebody to sit you down and have a conversation with you, but also...
And nobody likes to feel like people are talking about them.
No.
Nobody likes to feel like there's this thing about me everyone knows about, but how long have you guys been talking about this?
Right. So that's where we end.
Great episode.
Such a good episode. Maybe our favorite podcast episode ever that you were here with us. to talk
Oh, of
about
course. It was a blast.
Thank you for being here.
Have you back sometime.
Please.
Oh my God,
we would
please.
love to have you back.
Yeah, next time you're filming in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'll put in my requests because I love I love season 6, and I have some.
Oh yeah, tell us your episodes. We would
some great
absolutely
ones.
love.
And 5 still has some wonderful episodes. I actually did an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast.
Was it Slayer Fest?
Slayer Fest,
98,
maybe?
yeah.
And I got to talk with Claire
Kramer.
Yes.
Who I just did an interview with her.
Yeah, and she was cool. She talked so much about how she loved playing Glory, and she told the story of how she got the part, which was cool. She said she was like, I was working on Bring It On, and I was like, she was kind of like, let's be honest, I went out the night before. And she was like, I did like scrunch spray in my hair, and I went in there and like just made a choice to channel like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Yes. Just like a little unhinged. And she's like, I got it. She said she loved it. And she said of all the things she's done, she's like, people find it so amazing that I was only in one season because people remember me so strongly from that series.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I'm only in 10 episodes or whatever.
Right. It's funny rewatching the season because for me, it's only my second. Right. It's like we have so many episodes without Glory. And I'm like, that's what I thought the whole season was like Glory in every episode. Because she makes it
so
count.
She's so good in it.
She's
oh my God.
Fucking incredible.
And the looks, the hair and the looks and the shoes. And I mean.
The shoes. Oh, I'm glad you said the shoes because we got to the end of the episode and we didn't do the Sexual Tension Awards.
Okay.
Oh, what's the Sexual Tension Awards?
Okay, well, I'm
Which
so
one?
glad that you asked. So we do a vote off every episode. We give the listeners 4 nominations, and then they vote on Twitter for who they think has the most sexual tension.
Okay.
It's been a rough string of episodes for us. Season 3 was great. It was basically Faith and Buffy were nominated every week 4 times. But
they did seem like at some point they were just going to kiss.
Oh, Jenny has a whole theory. She'll tell
Trixie.
you.
Seriously, because people who hate each other that much, it's very much in movies where they're fighting and then they have sex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, consider for a moment,
oh boy,
before they went back to hating each other, when they were in Bad Girls, when they were best friends, when Faith comes up to Buffy's classroom window and fogs up the window and draws a little heart and a little stake, and then Buffy just fucking leaves class and they go off together in the middle of the day, school, so it's before 3 p.m. sometime, right?
Yeah.
They walk to the nest of vampires, you see the door and the glowing sunlight outline from inside the crypt, and then there's a long string glissando, and they kick open the door and they both whip out their stakes and then they kill all the vampires, and then hard cut to them dancing all over each other at the Bronze. Gotta be at least 9 p.m. That's a 6-hour window. Minimum. What happened in those 6 hours?
This is kind of her.
You turned gay in that 6 hours.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is kind of Jenny's thing.
Whoa.
Becoming your practiced monologue.
I just feel
no, it's great.
the people need to know.
They do.
The people have a right to know.
They do. They truly do. We truly do, I should say. Okay, so let's.
Sorry. Okay.
No,
right.
never be sorry.
Are Spike and Xander nominated?
If you'd like them to be.
Oh, well.
They will be.
I thought because their pool scene, they're standing there, 2 sticks, hello.
Fuck yeah. All right, let's play the jingle and get in.
Sexual Attention Award.
Okay, so.
That's what they all said.
Okay, so Trixie, you would like for Spike and Xander to be in the running, one of the 4.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
only reasonable.
I agree. They're on my list.
It's very women, huh? Well, they go their ways. It's very that. It's very that. It's very girl problems. One
way to solve that. Yeah.
You look tense.
Yeah.
Great. Jenny, do you
Women
have...
can't live with them. I have a closet full of dresses. I've used that pickup line how many times? Women can't live with them. Why don't you have sex with me? Yeah. It works a good 12% of the time.
Oh my God. Just in case anyone thinks I'm not laughing, I had reached the point of laughter where it became silent. So
do you guys nominate the people?
Yeah, but do you have anyone else you'd like to throw into the ring? You are our special guest of honor.
I mean, I think that's the only clear one, right? I mean, obviously Buffy and Spike again, always.
Jenny, do you have any nominations?
I'm all about Xander fondly reminiscing while caressing his crescent wrench. About when Riley was here. It seems like only yesterday.
I know. And we've really been throwing Xander and Riley into the ring a lot. But I'm sorry, Xander is shirtless in bed talking about a crescent wrench that he didn't loan to Riley.
To his girlfriend.
So I agree. They're in. And then All right. I said to Jenny before this taping, I refuse to not put Buffy and the nun in the running because I want to know what the fuck happened.
What
with that
happened
wimple.
in that window with the wimple?
The wimple window. What happened with it? And then I think because Trixie, you also brought it up, Giles and his British books would be my fourth pick.
He loves the
He
books.
loves the books. Have either of you seen Little Women? The new one?
No.
There's a fucking scene. It's literally the most intense porn I've ever seen. It's a bookbinding scene at the end. It is like the most salacious thing. If you've seen the movie, you know. It's just them binding the book at the end, but it is like they are like folding the pages and then they like stamp it and they brush off the gold seal and it's just really sexy. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
So those are our nominations. Go to Buffering Cast on Twitter. The poll is up for a week. Cast your vote.
Make your voice heard.
Yes.
Your voice matters.
It does. This is a democracy.
And if somebody wasn't nominated, angrily tweet at it.
Yeah. Write in votes always encouraged.
Sexual attention award.
Okay, Trixie, I think that most of our listeners, since they have been begging us to have you on the podcast, know where to find you.
Of course.
But will you tell them like what you're up to, where you would like for them to find you?
Well, I'm going all over the United States on tour for my 30-city tour. I just signed. I just flashed like a lesbian bat signal to the sky. And we all just partied.
Yeah, we know where to look for it.
Yeah, and then you can catch me weekly on Queens Who Like to Watch on Netflix. Season 5 is starting. Buy my cosmetics and my new record, Barbara, comes out on the 7th.
Holy shit. Is that the 7th of February that it comes out?
Yes, in just like 2 weeks.
Right.
I know. Wild.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh,
Thank you for being here.
Anytime. As soon as we stop recording, you can tell us your whole list of episodes. We'll have you on for any.
Yes, and stream Night Shift on iTunes. How about that?
What the hell? Nice.
What a great name for a record, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I was so jealous of it. Night Shift is so smart.
She's pretty
Shifting
smart.
into night and also a night shift.
Last request, Trixie. We howl out at the end. Jenny says until next time, and then we howl out. We would be honored if you would howl out.
Oh, yeah,
with
sure.
us.
So, till next time. Well, we've barely survived.
Truly.
We barely made it out with our lives.
Wow.
Reality is coming unwoven at its fragile edges, but still we must tell you that I'm Jenny Owen Youngs. When I'm not making this podcast, I make songs. You can hear some of them at jennyowenyoungs.com and learn more about my musical endeavors. Also, I host another podcast. You can listen to me talk almost as long as I talk on this podcast about a different, tiny, petite, blonde protagonist named Veronica Mars. That podcast is called Veronica Mars Investigations, and you can find it wherever you find fine podcasts.
Hell yeah. I'm getting really attached to hearing you say petite. I just want you to know. It's becoming
Well,
like a very
I did
satisfying...
Spend months and months of my young life working at Petite Sophisticate, as you recall.
Okay. We'll save that for another podcast discussion. In the meantime, I am Kristin Russo, and you can learn about what I do over at my website, KristinNoeline.com. That's KristinNoeline. Namely, I do work with LGBTQ communities, but I also just finished a wonderful journey on a little podcast called The Boiler Room, where Joanna Robinson and I talked about all 19 episodes of my so-called life. And guess what? This week we put up a little surprise, an interview with Winnie Holtzman, the creator of the show, which is so fun. So go on over there and check that out.
Wow.
Also, yeah, really special. Also, spoiler alert, Joanna read Winnie a message from me and she cried. So go listen to it. Go listen to it. Okay, what about us? Where can they find us, Jenny?
Well, Buffering the Vampire Slayer is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at BufferingCast, and you can email us at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com.
Yes, and lastly, before we roll on into the wonderful song, Get Ready for a Bop, we want to let you know that you can support the work that we do here. You can join our Patreon family, bufferingthevampireslayer.com. Just click on Patreon. You get tons of things. The songs, speaking of bops, you get the songs in advance. You get to join the secret Facebook if you're into it, the Slack group if you're into it. There's book clubs, there's concerts. There's all manner of fun things over there. Bonus episodes episodes. As a matter of fact, in just a couple of days, you're going to get a mailbag if you're a pledger over there. So head on over there, support our work. It's going to be great. Let me stop talking so that we can get to the song.
Xander in the middle. Don't make Xander choose. My watcher took a trip to the land of tweed and scones. But when Giles is away, which is gonna play, you know, and get a load of the great big green-skin hungry troll with a thirst for meat and a hatred deep of puny receptacles. Oh, oh, Xander in the middle. Oh, oh, Xander in the middle. Oh, oh, don't make Xander choose. Oh, oh, Xander in the middle. Oh, oh, Xander in the middle. Oh, oh, he's got so much to lose. I might not have the best dating history, though I'd never swipe right on a big green guy who likes to eat babies. But Anya, I feel ya, we all have some exes we'd sooner forget.
Ma, it was just one wench.
Oh, oh, Xander in the middle. Oh, oh, Xander in the middle. Oh, oh, don't make Xander choose. Oh, oh, Xander in the middle. Oh, oh, poor Xander in the middle. Oh, oh, he's got so much to lose. Whoever will he save? Stuck between a troll and a hard place. Sunnydale might be a wreck, but we survived. And the triangle that caused trouble is back to circle vibes. No more Xander in the middle. No more Xander in the middle. Oh, no, you can't make Xander choose. No more Xander in the middle. No more Xander in the middle. Oh, no, I won't let Xander lose.
Talmor, Sheshin Marachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming. And death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone. So we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.